Welcome to Scriptural Snapshots, brought to you by Living Faith Ministries in Kaiser, West Virginia, where we bring the living Word of God into your life. I'm Pastor Gordon Brubaker. You know, I like our opening statement. I hope you're not getting bored with it, but it's talking about the living Word of God. Now, there's lots of reasons we say that, but one of the reasons is the living Word of God frames our life. It frames our decision making. It frames our outlook on life, our outlook on politics. It frames everything. And when you reject that living Word of God and you reject it as being dead or old or forsaken, something that doesn't have relevance anymore today, well then what word are you using to define your life? Now this is crucial as we study the home of the brave, because we're finding out over this 4-week study that we are the home of the brave because we stood up for the cause of Christ. And this is so crucial. We closed Friday with a statement by Samuel Adams, and he said on the signing of the Declaration of Independence, he said, quote, "We have this day restored the sovereign to whom all men ought to be obedient. He reigns in heaven, and from the rising to the setting of the sun, let his kingdom come," unquote. That's what he said. He said, this day, we are not just churchy people doing a cute little picnic. We are committing our lives, committing ourselves, everything we have. We are committing this to this one cause. We have restored the sovereign to his right place. President Andrew Jackson, on January 31st of 1862, this is actually before he became president, it was before Lincoln was assassinated, and he said this: "Let us look forward to the time when we can take the flag of our country and nail it below the cross, and there let it wave as it waved in the olden times, and let us gather around it and inscribe for our motto, liberty and union, one and inseparable, now and forever, and exclaim, Christ first, our country next." Now, what he's trying to say is we need to restore the sovereign. He's saying this at a time when the nation's divided, when there's all this conflict and contrast going on between North and the South, while the war's going on and there's people just dying on both sides. He says, we need to restore the sovereign. Why? Because if we can unite on the Word of God, then we can unite our cause. And our cause will be just. Abraham Lincoln was asked one time, do you believe that God is on our side? And his response always intrigues me, because he said, I'm not so concerned whether God is on our side, but I'm concerned if we are on God's side. Now that's a powerful statement, because a lot of times in our normal lives, in our Christian life and endeavor to serve Christ, we make our plans and we ask God to bless it. Instead, we should find God's plan, and God's plan will already be blessed. And we need to understand this in the affairs of politics. Well, where does God stand on this? When you go back and study early American history and you study about the Declaration of Independence, that came from 150 years of preaching. Almost everything in the Declaration of Independence can be found in the preaching of the previous 50 years that was taught in the pulpits of the United States of America, or in the colonies at the time. But it was preached. This was the mindset of the people. This is what they believed, that our rights are given to us by the Creator God. And so it's only natural for Samuel Adams to say that this day we've restored the sovereign to his rightful place. It's appropriate for Andrew Jackson to say, I look forward to the time we can take the flag of our country, now listen, the flag of our country, and nail it below the cross, and there let it wave. In other words, he said, we've put the flags above Christ right now. And he says, we need to reverse the order, and we need to start putting the cross of Christ above the flag of the United States, above our nationalism. This country was torn in two. We're torn in two today. Well, how do you resolve that? You resolve it by agreeing that Jesus Christ should be exalted. If Jesus Christ is exalted, we can disagree on the form of baptism, but we can't disagree that Jesus is Lord, and to live our lives in accordance with His Word and understand His values, which is lacking today. He says, and there let it wave as it waved in the olden times, and let us gather around it and inscribe for our motto, liberty and union, one and inseparable, now and forever. And exclaim, Christ first, our country next. What an awesome thing to say, Christ first, our country next. I'm Pastor Gordon Brubaker. God bless you.